have that debate with Victoria.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can come up?
It is not a question of old technology versus new technology. The idea that we will all be in little driverless cars going across those 6 access points onto the isthmus and that will solve congestion is pure fantasy. It's about the right technology versus the wrong technology, and the right technology is the technology that moves people en masse, in buses, in trams, in trains. A lot of people together in the vehicle, whatever that vehicle is. Individualised transport is the way of the past. Now, one of the reasons I'm also very keen on this and the electric transport is my key platform for this mayoral election is carbon zero by 2060. We have to deal with the problem of climate change. We actually have to stop burning coal, we have to stop burning gas, we have to stop using petrol and diesel. If we don't stop, those decisions will be forced upon us by the oil running out in 50 years' time. So part of the job of the mayor is not to manage the council on behalf of the CEO and get involved in all the cost saving and the playing around. It's about the vision for the future. Where are we going? Where are we going to be in 50 years' time, 100 years' time, 500 years' time? And I can tell you where we're going to be. We're going to be in a world without hydrocarbon energy, without petrol, without diesel, without natural gas, without coal. We have to start building that world now. And we have to go as hard as we can and as fast as we can to make that happen, not just here in Auckland, everywhere around the world. But this is the vision for the future of Auckland that I have, that we will be an electric city and that we won't burn any hydrocarbon fuel and we will be sustainable for generations into the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I am allowed to respond to that. And gosh, that's really interesting. Because the driverless technology coming our way they've done all of the studies around that. We are investing trillions of dollars in driverless technologies. We are not investing trillions of dollars in trains, I can tell you that. The benefits of driverless, half is productivity around our city. We can shift traffic way faster with driverless than we can anything else. But David, you'll be so pleased to know that of the remainder of the benefits, over half are environmental. These are electric vehicles. We are taking petrol and diesel, so not only are we able to do that through our bus system with driverless buses, we are also able to do that right through our entire car passenger system by shifting the fleet, not just to electric but driverless. So you might want to do a bit of research on that.
Okay, thank you. It's a very, very hard talk and a free debate. I think every candidate will express themselves. You can totally understand what they stand view. 所以呢，我们这个话题也是引起了各方面的这个唇枪舌战，好，每个人都觉得自己的各有一番观点。对于如何改善这个奥克兰交通的问题，对于他们的问题，我相信我们在座很多的这个，包括我们的来宾和嘉宾，对于他们自己来说都有自己的想法和观点，很难这个众口难调这一个话题。
是，那其实共同的目标就是让我们的奥克兰真正成为宜居的城市。
对，
是的。那我们下面进入今天的第二个话题。那刚才在回答问题当中呢，也有我们的候选人提到了很多的一些奥克兰人啊，选择到其他的城市去居住，那来避免这些大城市都有存在的一些问题。那么就这样的一些问题，我们也想问问在座的候选人，针对这样资源外流的情况，他们是否同意？那么如果不同意有这样的情况，他们将如何去避免
Okay, let's change to the next topic. Wouldn't it be better for people to move out of Auckland because we seem to be unable to handle the large numbers of people who want to live here? As a future mayor of Auckland, do you want to see more of the population move outside of the town, still living in Auckland, especially immigrants?
What concerns me is what I said before. In Auckland, we have thousands of homes where the lights don't go on at night because nobody's living there. Because these houses have not been bought by people to live there or to rent out for anyone else to live there, and yet you walk down Queen Street and you can see people sleeping on cardboard in the middle of winter. Now, have you got a heart? How would you like to be in that situation yourself? So we have this ghost city of all these empty houses. And that in my view, is a real issue. And it seems interesting to me that that the government, when you try and say, well, why don't we encourage people to go and live in other parts of New Zealand? Oh, we can't do that. But they can give $5,000 to a homeless person for them to shift. So the principle of encouraging people to not to live in Auckland, well, why can't there be encouragement for people not to come to Auckland in the first place? And I'll say it again, I do believe we need a national population growth, migration and regional employment strategy. Thank you.
Anyone answer? Okay.
Yeah, look, part of the contradiction is what the government is doing at the moment. You know, if you are a beneficiary, you get paid $5,000 to move out of Auckland because you can find housing. And then you get paid $3,000 to move back to Auckland to find a job. Now that's just nonsense, isn't it? You are not. The fact is that all of the cities of the world are getting bigger, and we attract people to cities of scale, and that's a good thing in terms of providing choice and opportunity. But you've got to do it well. So you're not going to stop Auckland from growing, but what you can do is make sure you've got the infrastructure that makes this a good place to live. So we have to have the transport systems to cater for the growth. We have to have the housing. I hear that teachers don't want to come and teach in Auckland because it's much more expensive to live in Auckland and they get paid the same if they live in Invercargill. But if it's expensive for teachers, with all of the growth we've got, and particularly with the tourism industry, how are we going to find the workforce that will work in our cities unless we can make it affordable and unless we can get our transport systems working for them? So let's not try to stop Auckland from growing. We might want to slow the growth until the infrastructure catches up, but let's make this a city where the infrastructure matches the needs of the people that are coming here to live. It's better to have growth than not to have growth, but let's have growth that's done well, and let's make sure that if we intensify, we look after the quality of life in our city with things like plenty of green, open public space, good infrastructure, and good urban design. That makes this a really great city to live in.
Thank you, Phil. And Mark.
We can think back to 2008 and the general election then, of course, one of the big issues was the fact that the Westpac Stadium, 35,000 people were going to Australia every year. Do you remember that, debate? That's not the problem we want to have. So we've got the reverse problem. We're actually too popular. And I think I'd rather have the problem we have now than the problem we had in 2008 when we didn't have enough people. The questions about what would I do with migration and the regions, what I want to do is make sure Auckland is accepting and continues to support people who are migrating here and continue to be the exciting, diverse city that we are. Phil and I were in Warkworth last month at the same time, and he was reported as saying that he would look at reducing immigration to Auckland, and I don't support that because I think the immigration we have makes us a strong city. And what we've got to do actually is have more of you standing for Auckland Council. I hope some of you are thinking about doing that. You've got a couple of weeks to go. I'd like to have an Auckland Council that was more representative so that we can make sure your views are actually being properly fed into the planning that we do, the strategizing that we do, and making sure that the actual techniques that Auckland Council is adopting reflects all of us in Auckland. And that's my plan if you elect me mayor. Sheshe.
One of the advantages, of course, of living in a free society is that people are free to go where they want and to go to where they are most attracted to. Now, there's a very good book written about this in the 1950s called Urban Dynamics, and it says there's a bundle of things that people are looking for all around the world, all around New Zealand. And that's good schools for your kids, good public transport, good transport systems, a clean, green environment, a stable democracy, jobs, investment. That's that bundle. And if you can move from a city or a country where you don't find those things to a city or a country where you do, and you can move, you will move. And this is the story of the 21st century as the human population grows to 7, 8, 10 billion people. There's going to be a lot more of this migration going on. And what can we do about it? Well, we can't stop it necessarily, But what we can do is look after ourselves, look after our city, look after each other, and try and make that place our place, the livable place, the place we want to be. And yes, people will then want to come here. Part of my strategy, I think, is that Auckland Council, being the largest council in the country, being the largest city, has got a responsibility to other centres around New Zealand. So Whangarei, Tauranga, Hamilton, to connect with those places so that it's easy to do business there as well, so that jobs are created there as well, to help them become attractive places. So yes, people will come to Auckland and say, this is great, but hey, I think I'll go and live in Tauranga, you know. There's great business opportunities there, or good schools, or whatever. So we can spread the love, as it were, and allow people to move around. We can't control that, we can't stop it, and neither should we. But we can help it move in positive ways for Auckland and for the rest of New Zealand.